You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're good.
Excellent, perfect. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna make the presentation as short as possible. It shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. I do these presentations all the time, and I see that it becomes very engaging and interesting when we get questions from the audience. So hopefully you'll have some questions after this presentation, and I'm gonna take the agent point of view first, all right? And then I would love, really love, to take the team leader position and how to build the organization and understanding the numbers from the team leader and how to grow the organization later. But I would love for you guys to ask me questions on that too. So that being said, let's get started right here. Very good. Thank you. All right. So knowing our numbers, what are we talking when we say knowing our numbers? Well, in order to have direction for our business, we need to make sure that we understand what we're doing and measure that every single day. And I know you hear that before. So I'm going to give you 5 simple key points. Specialized knowledge, right? That's the first thing we have to have is the specialized knowledge, understanding as a listing agent exactly what, who our clients are, the market, and the market has 6 things. And if you want to write this down, I'll be more than glad to go slowly so you understand. So in order for me to provide value, what are we selling to our clients? We are not actually selling properties. Buyers and sellers can transact, close a transaction by themselves. So understanding that clients, buyers and sellers do business with us because we communicate, right? We're selling confidence, right? And the only way to have that confidence is, as you can see in point number 1, specialized knowledge, all right? And when I talk about specialized knowledge, let's be very, very clear and to the point. So we understand that agents have, there's an evolution, a 4-step evolution from the agent, right? We start working when we get our license. We first start working with tenants, right? And we close our first transaction and we get $600 from that rental. And we're so happy, not because of the money. We're able to close a transaction. And wow, we are so, so, so happy that we were able to close that transaction. But then after a while, after we've done a few rentals and we, experience what it is to work with buyers, then what happens is we don't want to work with tenants anymore, right? It's much more profitable and fun to work with buyers. But after a while, if we're doing well and if we know exactly what we're doing and we're supposed to do, we experience working with sellers. Know that working with sellers is where the money is, where our focus should be, right? So we don't want to work with buyers anymore. We focus on working with sellers. Remember the old saying, in order to last, you have to list. All right. So let's focus right now on working with sellers. So understanding my market, 6 things that I need to know, and please write this down because it's going to help you a lot, right? Knowing my numbers and knowing exactly what to say. So 6 things that I need to know. Number 1, the number of properties for sale in my specific market. All right, knowing my numbers, how many properties are for sale? 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom units, right? Number 2, the average price of those properties. I need to know my numbers, the average price. Number 3, the average price per square foot, right? Number 4, the highest property for sale. Number 5, the lowest property for sale. Then finally, right, days on the market. Now I have a very clear number, the things that I need to know before going to a listing presentation. And also if I'm working with a buyer, I can know a lot of things, but these are the 6 things that I need to review on a daily basis and know by memory. That is what's going to impress my client. That is what's going to give him the confidence that I know what I'm talking about, right? So then and only then, once I acquire that specialized knowledge in a very specific market, I'm going to do step number 4, which is the marketing. What's the difference between marketing and selling? Well, marketing is everything we do online and offline. Make sure, right, that we have the opportunity to speak to somebody face to face or on the phone. That's marketing. Well, what's selling? Well, selling is what we do once we have the opportunity provided by marketing, all right? Once what we say and what we do once we have that person on the phone or face to face, right? So then we go to step number 5, which is selling. And I just mentioned that, right? So I need to go through those 5 steps. Thank you very much for going through the process. All right, so now the first question is, okay, how do we get in front of more clients? All right, number 1, please write this down or take a screenshot. This is for you guys, right? Number 1, well, so there are 4 quadrants of lead generation. The first one is email marketing, and we're going to go through some numbers, okay? The first one is email marketing. The second one is social media, and I'm not saying one is more important than other. I'm saying I'm going from the cheapest to the most expensive one, right? And I'm not saying to do only one. Ideally and eventually, if you are not there yet, you should be in all of them 4. So first is email marketing. We're going to go through some numbers, all right? Number 2 is social media, and a very specific way of doing social media, all right? Number 3 is online marketing, and finally, offline marketing. So let's talk about some numbers in email marketing, all right? Number 1, we should be emailing our database at a minimum of 2 times per week. Minimum 2 times per week. Email marketing. Granted, we need to have the right content. The top agents around the country, the top agents that I work with around the country, email their database to these guys on a daily basis. I understand that for most of you, you are not going to feel comfortable yet talking to so many people. All right, I'm not sending so many emails, but make sure, all right, that you're at least sending relevant information via email to your clients 2 times per week. That's the numbers for email marketing. I'm going to go very quick because I want you guys to ask the questions. Now, number 2 is social media. And if we can go back a little bit to the other slide so they can see it, I'd really appreciate it. So number 2 is social media. Very good. All right, so social media is not about posting. It's about paying, right? Paying for specific campaigns. The numbers in social media, here we go. When we post something on social media, about 2% of all our connections in social media are going to see it. And usually the people that see that, it's our family, our family members and best friends. And those best friends, what we have, most of them are real estate agents. So they're not going to do a transaction with us. So for social media, we need to create a campaign. Please write this down, a very specific campaign. If you have questions, we'll go through that too. What's called a lead generation campaign. Where I can see the name, phone number, and email of all the people that have downloaded what I put in that campaign. Number 3 is online marketing. What are we talking in online marketing? We're talking about realtors.com. We're talking about retargeting. We're talking about all the things we do online, all right, to generate those leads. And finally, offline. Offline, what are we talking about offline? Very simple, all right? Postcards that still work very well if you know what to do with those postcards and how to use them, right? Postcards, magazines, newspapers, and guess what? What's the number 1 sellers lead generation tool for most of the top agents in the country? Listen to this. The number 1 sellers lead generation tool for most agents in the country, all right? It's open houses. Open houses, very inexpensive. All of you can do open houses, all right? So those are the 4 quadrants of marketing. Understanding our numbers, that's where we find the agents. So if we can go to the next slide, right? I'll appreciate it. And the next slide, it's what we call the magic 5, right? The daily 5 in this case, but we call it the magic 5 in our for our group. So number 1, we want to have 5 sales conversations, 5 days a week for 50 weeks at a minimum, all right? Even if your production, it's, you're a part-time agent, I want you to have at least 5 sales conversations daily. Remember, we're selling confidence, all right? And the way to increase the confidence in our end and to our clients, constantly have those sales conversations, right? The sales conversations will allow us to increase our communication skills. Better our communication skills, right? The easier it's going to be to convert. It's going to be to convert clients, potential clients into buyers and sellers. So if we can go to the next slide, I'm going to give you the numbers right here, the numbers, right? So knowing your numbers. Now we talk about specialized knowledge, very basic right now, right? The 6 things in terms of specialized knowledge. We talk about the 4 ways of generating the leads, all right? That's marketing. And then we're talking about knowing your numbers right here. So this is, when we do the seminars, this is the #1 slide. So I highly people take picture of. So I highly recommend to take a picture of this screen. So if we go to the bottom right corner and you see the number 12 and the number 24, right? So let's work backwards and then you'll have your own number. So let's say you want to close 12 transactions, all right? This is a statistic, more than 40 years of statistic. This is not only my own, right? So if you want to close 12 transactions, all right, you multiply that times 5. And that's going to give you the number of leads, people that told you, hey, I'm interested in either buying or selling a property, right? You need to generate 60 leads, right? Now, in order to generate 60 leads, I need to multiply that times 5, and it's going to tell me exactly how many sales conversations I need to get to 60 leads, which is going to, in turn, give me 12 transactions. So that's 300 sales conversations. Sometimes we have in the seminars, they ask as well, but in what period? It doesn't really matter. If you want to close 12 transactions in a month, those are the numbers: 60 leads, 300 sales conversations. If you want to do it in a year, it's exactly the same thing. You want to close 24 transactions, you multiply that times 5, you have 120 leads. Then you need to have 600 sales conversations. You take this to your team leader, you take this to any top agent, and they're going to verify that number. All right, those are the numbers, guys. Those are the numbers. Now, very, very, very important. Understanding these numbers will lower your level of frustration. Look at this. Let's look at the number 12 in the bottom right corner. 12 transactions. All right, I need to generate how many leads? 48 people that I've spoken to in the past, let's say 3 to 4 months, all right? That said, they were, thank you, Willie, thank you very much, appreciate it. 60, exactly, right? 60 people that said, I'm interested in buying or selling. Well, out of those 60 people, 48 are not going to do business with me, 48. Now, understanding that quote unquote failure rate will allow you to keep, it's just part of the business, guys. Now, if any of you, all right, have a higher conversion rate, all right, it's because you're not talking to enough people. Most agents, when they're kind of new, they say to me, Orlando, you know what? My problem is not the conversion. My problem is lead generation. And I work with the top agents in the industry. And their conversion rate is about 50%. Oh, no, my conversion rate is 80. Well, because you're only talking family members and friends, right? So the conversion is going to be much higher. But once you start talking, right, to the people that you don't know very well, that you generated, from that content from a campaign, then your numbers are going to go down to about 50%, right? Which is normal, which is okay. It's fine. I just want you to understand that so you don't get frustrated and stop and you say, hey, I'm not getting any traction. I'm not doing well. No, you are, right? The thing is, you have not generated enough leads. You have not spoken to enough people, right? That's all I want you to know. This is very, very, very important that you understand this number. If you do, you're going to keep moving forward. You're going to understand that it's part of the process. All right. So if you want to close 24 transactions, look at the number of people you need to talk to: 600. Right. So that is key in our business. All right. So I'm going to give you a few tips, and I want to open up to questions, or I would love to go into team building. So if we can go to the next slide, I really, really appreciate it. All right. So I can summarize this for you. Right here. There you go. So 5 tips that I want to give you. Number 1, right? Make sure that you get to utilize the 4 marketing quadrants. What are they? Email marketing. Number 2, social media. Number 3, online marketing, or offline marketing. The idea is that when your client open his email, they're gonna see Willie. For example, they see Willie, right? When they go to social media, who do they see? Willie again. And I'm mentioning Willie because Willie answered a question right now. So I appreciate that, right? So I see Willie on the email, I see Willie on social media, then I go online, I go to CNN, I go to Fox News, I go to any website online. Who do I see? Willie again through retargeting. Number 4, I go to my mailbox, right? To get my mail, who do I see? A postcard from Willie. It is Saturday afternoon. I'm driving around my community. There's an open house. Who do I see? Willie again, right? Guys, we learn in pre-licensing school, people do business with us because they know us, like us, and trust us. That is all true. But I would say even more important, or at least as important, is people do business with us because we constantly remind them of what we do. So unfortunately, there's it's not a live, physical audience right here that we have. But when I talk about this, said, what's the number one? If you guys can write it down in the chat, I'll really appreciate it. What's the number one soda brand in the world? The drink. What's the number one soda brand in the world? See, what's the number one soda brand? There you go. Exactly, Celia. Coke. Look at all these people. Coke, 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 Coke. Very good. What's the second soda brand in the world? Second soda brand. Nobody missed Coke. What's the second one? Pepsi. Look at that. Pepsi. Everybody knows it, right? Everybody knows it. What's number 3? What's number 3? I don't know. Some people will say 7-Up. Some people will say Dr. Pepper. What I'm trying to say with this is that consumers, all of us, right? Sprite. I know they said Sprite, right? But it's not that clear, right? So consumers have in their mind, right, space usually for 2 brands. And it's not different in real estate. We're either the number 1 agent in their mind, or at least number 2. Because if we're not, they are not remembering us. We are not in their mind, right, when they're ready to take action. And you will lose more clients, right, because of lack of incentive, lack of being present, right, than because you're too present. I'd rather somebody unsubscribe from my email list, right, than never unsubscribe because I never send them anything. It's all about frequency and consistency, understanding those numbers, right? So making sure that you guys are everywhere. Who makes more money? And your job is the following. Who makes more money? It's a great example. I love this example. It's not mine, but I don't remember who I got it from, right? I think it's a beautiful example, okay? And Alan, very good. I'm going to answer those questions right now. Who makes more money? The general doctor or the specialist? Who makes more money? The general doctor or the specialist? Definitely, exactly, Lisa. Willie, thank you. The specialist. Here you go. Now, who makes more money? That doctor who is a specialist, or Dr. Oz from TV? Who makes more money? There you go. You got, of course, Dr. Oz. Why? Not because he's a better specialist, a celebrity. Find him everywhere, right? He has books, he has TV shows, he has all those things, right? So are you becoming the celebrity in your area? Right? If not, that's the goal. Understanding our numbers in email, and we can talk about email if you want. Understanding our numbers in social media, understanding our numbers in online and offline marketing, it's key. All right? It is key. Our number one principle when we're teaching agents is that, guys, much easier for people to do business with you when they find you instead of when you find them. Much easier for buyers and sellers to do business with you when they find you instead of when you find them. That's why the marketing is so important and critical. And understanding our numbers in marketing is going to make a huge difference. Got it? right? So very, very, very. Oh, by the way, Willie, I love your dress code. I love that today. I needed to change mine. All right, so Willie, let's see. Let me see how I open this right here. I'm afraid to touch my. There you go. Now I see it. All right, so I'm gonna go into questions right now. If we can go, I want to leave it right there to the 5 tips. I want to make sure that in this space, I get to answer all your questions. We can go as deep as you want with numbers. There are 3 numbers, all right? Number 1, please write this down. Specialized knowledge, we talk about the 6 things. If you want me to remind you, I'll remind you again. Number 2, my numbers in marketing, the 4 quadrants of marketing. I need to know my numbers in those 4 quadrants. And number 3, my number of sales conversations. I'm not talking about cold calling, I'm talking about sales conversations. And I need to have at least 5 sales conversations per day, all right? And if we want to go into team building, that'll be great. If not, we can stay here. All right, so great example. Thank you. Great stuff, guys. Cheers. Thank you very. I really appreciate it. Megan, thank you very much. Let's see. Let's see. I think I have some questions here. I had a question right here. I'm gonna go down. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see right here. Is there an example of a social media campaign? Yes. All right. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you right here, but I'm going to give you the information, which is, it's just, the other one is just a visual aspect. So I'm going to give you an example. The typical postcard, right? The typical postcard has 4 things. Number 1, what is it? My picture profile, right? My picture profile from what? 78 years ago. 78 years ago. Remember? That's a typical postcard, the picture profile from 78 years ago, right? Number 2, it talks all about what I sold or what I have for sale. It's all about me. The message is all agent-centric approach. Agent-centric, me, 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 me. My picture, this is what I sold, this is what I have for sale, all about me, right? Number 3, here's my information. So number 4, you can call me, right? So that's the typical campaign. It can be a postcard, it can be a campaign on social media, right? Well, what happens is that clients don't pay attention to that. Everybody says they're number 1. I had never met an agent that is number 56. This is Orlando Montiel, the number 1 agent in Miami. Call me. I can help you buy or sell a property, right? So what is the example of a good, all right, campaign? Very good. So we got to think about changing the message from the agent-centric approach, client-centric approach. So to answer that question, right, we talk about the following. For example, I live in Miami. So I'm looking right now at downtown Miami. So if I want to target downtown Miami, all right, I'm going to talk about 3 to 5 things that the mind understands, right? The structure of numbers, 3, 4, 5 things, right? So the 3 things you need to know before selling your home in downtown Miami, right? Do not sell your home in downtown Miami before reading this guide. And I wish I could share with you my screen so you can see the cost per lead and the number of leads we generate in a daily basis, all right, for that. But at least I'm giving you the content right now, which was the main question. So my campaign should be in negative, all right? So very, very good question, all right? My campaign should be in negative, all right, Will? And I think that, yeah, you were the one asking that question. My campaign should be negative. Do not sell your home in downtown Miami before reading this guide. The three mistakes owners in downtown Miami make when selling their home and how to avoid them. That should be in a postcard, that should be in social. It doesn't really matter the platform. It can be social media, it can be email, it can be postcard, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about giving value to the client, getting their attention. Guys, in order to sell something, first, I need to get the attention, right, of my client. And I'm not going to get their attention with my picture from 78 years ago, especially in social media, right? When I'm competing with people half my age in great shape and women that are in bikini, I'm not getting their attention, right? I need to get their attention by offering something of value to them. Got it? So the 3 mistakes owners in downtown Miami make when selling their home and how to avoid them, all right? Do not sell your home in downtown Miami before reading this guide. Let's learn from the big corporations, right? CNN, Fox, quote unquote news. They're not in the business of giving you the news. They're in the business of selling advertisement. And 99.999% of all the quote unquote news, CNN, Fox News, or any other news platform gives you is negative. Why? Because we have a little receptor in our brain, right? Called the amygdala, which has been with us for for thousands of years, which make us pay attention to negative information. So let's use that to improve our marketing message, right? As Willie was saying, give us an example on online marketing. So to improve our online marketing, right, we need to improve our marketing message. And that marketing message should be negative, right? So I need to get your attention. Remember AIDA? And if you guys are not familiar with AIDA, that is a marketing concept invented more than 100 years ago. AIDA. Google that, research that. The top schools around the country, universities, use this marketing principle. AIDA stands for A, attention, I, interest, D, desire, and finally action. So first, in order to sell something, first, I need to get your attention. Now, once I get your attention and I get your information because I offer you something of value, then I need to develop your interest. That's not going to happen the first time. That's why we need an email marketing system like KB Core that is delivering constant relevant information, right? So I can develop the interest of the buyer or seller. And through this process, I'm going from interest to desire, right? And then finally, number 4, action. And as we said before, it's much easier for people to do business with us when they find us instead of when they find us instead of when we find them, right? So I hope that answers your question. If not, we can continue going. And this is what I like, this conversation, these questions from you, okay? So Steven says, how do you define sales conversations? Very, very, very good question and very important. So is the conversation, the first conversation that I have with a lead, right? The other ones are called follow-ups. So Steven, if you downloaded a document through social media, if you open one of my emails and I've never spoken to you and say, hey, Steven, how you doing? This is Orlando Montiel. I noticed that yesterday you opened one of my emails, the 3 mistakes owners in downtown Miami make when selling their home. How can I help you? What questions do you have about the process? That's it. The first time I speak to you, Steven, that is a sales conversation. Everything else is a follow-up. So I need to speak to at least 5 new people per day. All right. A sales conversation is defined as the first conversation that I have with a prospective lead. All right. Or right, a social conversation. Let me deviate a little bit because that question from Steven is critical. So my question to you guys, how many social real estate conversations are you having on a daily basis? One more time, how many social conversations are we having on a daily basis? What do I mean by this? Well, Steven, let's say you have 2 kids and I have 2 kids too, and they go to the same school, right? And I'm gonna pick up the kids, or there's a play in school and we all go there. Hey, Steven, how you doing? He's gonna say, oh, fine, Orlando, great. What about you? Man, I'm so impressed and surprised with what's happening in the market right now. It's incredible. I mean, houses are going through the roof. It's almost impossible to present an offer and get it accepted. Next day, hey, Steven, how you doing? Good, and you? Good. Oh, man, I can't believe it. I did an open house even this weekend. We had 62 offers on that open house and more than 200 people showing up. It's incredible what's happening in the market, right? I'm not selling you anything. I'm just having a real estate social conversation with you, right? Hey, Steven, how you doing? Next time I see you. Good, Orlando. What about you? Oh, man, I'm so tired. I had this closing this morning. Man, it took us almost 2 months to close it, but we finally got it done. What's happening? I'm positioning myself as an expert, right? And I'm going to go as deep in that conversation as you are interested. If you're not interested, I just cut it right there. But if you are, I'll explain to you about the open house, or I'll explain about the closing, or I'll explain about the market. Usually you get people to engage because it's interesting. Everybody has a house, whether it's a rental or they own it. everybody lives someplace, and they're interested on what's happening in their market, right? So how many how many social conversations are you having? So the first time I speak to you, Stephen, about what's happening in the market, that is another sales conversation, right? So I hope that answers your question. The next one right here is, how do you transition the initial cold call to set up a meaningful sales conversation? All right, so we go from here. I need so many years ago, and I'm not saying that I'm against cold calling, all right? It's just there are, for those of you doing cold calling, I'm just asking you, for your own, for your own sake, be open to a much warmer ways of speaking to clients, right? When was, and again, Alan, when was the last time you received a cold call from a doctor? Hey, Alan, how you doing? This is Orlando Montiel. Hey, I know you don't know me. I'm a doctor, right? And I'm just trying to increase my practice. And I wanted to know if you have a primary physician. And if not, I would like to be your doctor. How would you feel if a doctor cold calls on you? Not very well, right? Never happened. Exactly, never happened. So understand that when you're doing a cold call, you're coming from a much lower professional position, right? Not, doesn't happen from lawyers either, or from accountants, right? And you wouldn't, even if that happens, you would not feel comfortable. So understand that when you're doing a cold call, right, you're doing a cold call because you don't have any more leads. And the reason you don't have any more, I'm not talking about you specifically, the reason agents don't have any more leads is because they're not using the 4 quadrants we already spoke about, right? Email marketing, social media, online and offline marketing. Now, it's a completely different conversation, Alan, when I'm calling you because you took action. You downloaded something, right? You registered for something. You wanted some information. And when I call you, hey, Alan, how you doing? I noticed that yesterday you downloaded, you opened my email, whatever, about the 3 mistakes owners in downtown Miami make when selling their home. Alan, tell me, what questions do you have about it? Alan, how can I help you? Oh, Orlando, thank you very much for calling, but I was just curious. Tell me, what were you curious about, Alan? What were you expecting to get in that, to read in that email or in that document that you downloaded yesterday? Now, remember, 8 out of 10 people will say, no, listen, I'm not interested right now. I'm not ready. I'll call you or call me later. That's fine. But it's not a cold call that has a lot of friction. Got it? It's much easier for people to do business with you when they come to you instead of when you go to them, right? So I hope that answers your question, right? We all should have more than enough leads to talk to. If you know how to do, and this is not a marketing session, but if you know how to generate leads through email marketing, social media, online and offline, you'll have more than enough people interested, at least on talking to you. But by the way, Alan, I'm not calling you, all right, out of the blue. I'm calling you because you took some action. So hopefully that answers the question on how to transition from an initial cold call to set up a meaningful sales conversation. And look at what I said. I never said I'm Orlando Montiel, the real estate agent. I'm an expert. Anything. No, hey, Alan, I noticed that yesterday. Open, right, an email about the 3 mistakes owners make in downtown Miami when selling their home. Alan, how can I help you? What questions do you have about it? Silence, waiting for that person to answer. Got it? Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, let's see if we have any other questions right here. Right here, Dr. Oz, specialist, what content? I think those are the questions for now. Let's see what questions. Please keep asking. Please keep asking questions. The more questions you ask, the more interesting it becomes. Let's see if we have any other questions. Let's make a quick review of those numbers as real estate agents. All right, tracking your numbers. All right, talk about those 4 tips. Tracking your numbers on online email marketing. By the way, let me talk, if say something about email marketing, and if you have questions, just write them down in the chat. Alan is typing something. So about email marketing, all of you, without exception, set up your KV core. All of you should have an automated email marketing sequence. All right, very, very, very important, guys. Reason being, the most important tool you have in terms of marketing, email marketing automated segmented sequence. One more time, it's an automated segmented email marketing sequence. By the way, and how much is it costing you? Zero is included in your monthly payment. All right? Very, very, very important, guys. Now, some people will say, I get that this a lot in my seminars, all right, which is people nowadays don't open their email anymore. And I agree 100% with that. When we go into our inbox, we are in mode. Delete, 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 delete. But listen to this, guys. In order for people to delete it, first, they have to see it. In order for people to delete it, first, they have to see it, right? So whatever I do on social, whatever I do online, whatever I do offline to generate the lead, I immediately need to input that information into my email marketing system. In this case, for all of us, KV Core. So I can monitor who is opening my emails, who is clicking on the emails that they open. So there are 3 stages, right, of urgency on talking to the people that open my emails. Right. First, I'm gonna call not only the people that open my email, but click on that email. Right? 2 things. One thing is to open, and another thing is to click on the information on that email. Those are the biggest urgency. We know that most people are going to delete it, right? Because they're not interested in taking action right now. But if they open it, and not only open it, but they click to go to another page, to our website, and those people are interested. Now, once I already spoken or called all these people today, where am I going to go? I'm going to the second one. Okay, who were the ones that opened my email? All right. And I should have more than enough leads in a daily basis into my system that I should have at least 5 sales conversations per day. Got it? So hopefully you guys get that. You don't have to pay a penny extra, a penny, all right, to have this email marketing system and sequences set up. It's already included with your monthly your monthly technology fee of $85. So take advantage of it. All right. KV Core will do it for you. All right. So that's email. That being said, make sure you set it up. Alan says, where can we find your email? I'll give you my email right here. Let me put it right here. You can email me at, let me see, Orlando at Montiel Organization. Orlando at montielorganization.com. If you want to reach me in that email, that's it right there. Right, very good. All right, so let's see if we have any other questions. Just want to say something that is not part of today's tracking your numbers, but even if you're just getting started, guys, I want to finish today, if you don't have any other questions, with the evolution of our real estate agent. And a lot of people ask me, okay, what did you see at EXP that made you, make the move? And I always talk about the evolution of our real estate agent. And I said that at the beginning, but we didn't have 54 people in the room. We had about 30. So maybe 20 of you missed it. So even if you're a brand new agent, okay, please listen to this very carefully. The evolution of an agent, as I explained before, we get our license, we're excited to work with tenants, we get our first rental, we get $600, $700, and it's not about the money. We are so happy because we accomplished something. We made the appointment, we went into the MLS, we looked for these properties, we showed the properties, we found the contract, we wrote the contract for the client on a Sunday at 3 a.m. We were so nervous, right? We submitted the contract to the association or to the real estate agent that is representing the owner. And we were so happy. We got it done. We got our check for $600-700, and we are so excited. That's step number 1, right? But then we evolved. After a while, we experienced working with buyers. And that's such an amazing experience and transition and evolution from working with tenants, right? And you start referring the tenants, right? Then after a while, if you're doing things the right way, right? We're working with buyers. Eventually, they become your sellers, or if you are in the right track, you become a listing agent way faster than most agents. And then once you experience working with sellers, you control the market, you have free marketing, right? Now you have all those agents working for you. You don't have to show property anymore. You answer calls from your office. You don't have to write the contract. The buyer's agent writes the contract. They submit the application to the association. They're working with the deposits, working with the appraisal, and you're just in your office making listing presentations. Once you start working with sellers, then you start referring buyers. That's the third part of the evolution. But still, 100% of your income coming from 100% of your effort. Now you see the evolution in other companies, right? Where now the listing agent created a team, and that is great. That's the final step in the agent evolution, right? That's the final one, and it's a great one, all right? But under the regular real estate model, you can't, and please listen to this, you cannot, right, build teams within teams. And it still gives me the chills, all right, that we have this unique opportunity at EXP to build teams under teams and grow our organization to levels that have never been able to grow before under any other company. All right. And you don't have to wait 5, 6, 7 years. All right. So that's the final thing that I would like to talk to you today. It's not in the script, it's not in the slides, but for you to realize that now you can leverage the effort of other people, the knowledge and the experience. You can truly, truly build a long lasting business. Selling real estate is amazing, but it's a job. All right. And it's a beautiful job, a beautiful, beautiful job. But eventually you evolve. You want to create teams. So realize that you have the number one model to create amazing teams with unlimited number of agents. So I hope you take advantage of that opportunity as well. All right. So I don't think I have any other questions right here. My email is right there if you want to ask any other questions in the future. Megan, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to the presentation, or we're okay like this. I
No,
know I
I
got a
think
lot
we're
of Spanish.
great. This was amazing. I
Thank
think this
you.
was an amazing breakout. So thank you so much. And I think some people asked for you got your email in there, so you're good. No, thank you very much, Orlando. This